just should have believed in you. If I had, maybe you'd... No matter what you did, you didn't deserve this. And you were so good to me. What happened to my faith in you? My brother could do anything. Could have turned your whole life around if you had the chance.
Excuse me, ma'am.
You startled me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. It's just you look like you were in distress. If there's anything I could do.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. Waste and Water Management, Georgetown, Texas. Construction Supervisor, Electronics Salesman, Austin. Ironworker, Dallas, 1 year. Oh, look at this. Fry cook, the Red Hook Cafe, 2 months.
Finding anything suspicious?
Nope. But you gotta admit, Mr. Del Henry is certainly a jack-of-all-trades type of guy. You name it, he's probably done it. Just not for that long.
Well, he's still searching for his niche.
Yeah, right, maybe.
Well, let's hope he finds it cooking certified chicken for us, because a good employee, that's very hard to find.
Yeah, well, what makes you think he's gonna be such a good employee?
Now, you really don't think that he's any danger to Dixie, do you? His explanation for being at her house, perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Suppose I'm just overreacting. Dixie was completely upset about something this morning. I had no idea what it was. I thought maybe, just maybe, he had something to do with it.
Everybody thinks you're so sensitive. You don't know why she's upset? Janet Green. Janet Green murdered Dixie's brother, Will, exactly 2 years ago today.
Such a jerk.
Please. You know it annoys me to agree with you.
Oh, give me a break, Palmer. How was I supposed to know? I'm not a mind reader. Why couldn't Dixie just simply tell me why she was upset this morning?
That's an interesting question. The two of you seem to be so close.
We are close.
She didn't feel she could confide in you.
Palmer, spare me, okay? The reason she probably didn't say anything is she knows how I feel about Will. He's gone, and I'm damn glad of it. He was nothing but a sneaky, lying, manipulative, and twisted little weasel who did everything he possibly could to come between the two of us. And come to think of it, you should know something about that yourself, shouldn't you, PC?
It's ancient history.
Yeah, well, not so ancient I haven't forgotten every single underhanded thing he did to the two of us.
Oh, you missed Will's lowest ebb.
Maybe, but I heard about it. Everything he did to Haley. The drinking, the blackmail, the rape. The whole sick, twisted saga.
Well, maybe, but you know, it doesn't change the fact that Will was...
We're brother, yeah, I know. I've heard all about it. I've heard all about how kin is sacred in Pigeon Hollow.
You better believe it.
Yeah, but we're not talking about some kind of, eccentric on here or kooky cousin. Will was downright evil. He manipulated Dixie till the day he died. He's dead and he's still manipulating her.
Well, nevertheless, he was
Face
her
it,
brother.
Dixie is going to be better off as soon as she forgets all about her brother, Will.
And I used to think that you were an insensitive lout. Now I know it.
Well, I suppose that makes you an expert, huh? You know everything, don't you,
Listen,
Palmer?
I know this much. If you don't understand why Dixie can't give up on Will, then you don't know her as well as you thought you did.
People cry in cemeteries, all right? It doesn't mean that they need help. It's very nice of you to offer, but I'm fine, thank you.
You looked to me like you needed somebody to talk to.
Really, I am actually enjoying the solitude.
1992. It's a long time to miss somebody. You see your husband?
Excuse me?
I mean, it's plain you cared for him.
It's none of your business.
You're old enough to be married and as pretty as you are. I just assumed you had a husband.
What do you want? What is your problem? Who are you?
I'm sorry, I should introduce myself straight off. Name's Del Henry.
Are you from around here?
No, ma'am. I just rolled in town a few days ago.
Do you have any family in Pine Valley?
No, can't say that I do.
Friends?
Well, the fact is, you're one of the first people I've talked to.
Well, if you don't know anybody in town, why are you hanging around the cemetery?
I like cemeteries.
Really?
Well, I'm not a ghoul or a silence freak or anything like that. I come to cemeteries for inspiration.
Graveyards inspire you.
Well, not so much the graveyard itself, but the graves. The headstones with the epitaphs and epigrams. I use the headstones to brainstorm for characters. My favorites are the epigrams. The best was, "Here lies Mary Jones. About her life, she made no bones." Only 2 lines. A whole life story rolled up into 2 lines. I did a pencil rubbing all the while picturing what this make no bones about it woman must have been like. And by the time I'd walked the ground for a couple hours, it was a pretty full existence.
Excuse me for saying so, but that's a pretty strange way to spend your time.
Well, it's just a technique for stretching my imagination. 2 years ago. He died young. Must have been a sad story.
It was.
He wasn't your husband?
Will was my brother.
How did he die? I'm sorry. You can ignore me if you want. I didn't mean to pry.
I don't want to talk about it.
What is wrong with me? Here you are grieving and I'm pestering you. A total stranger, no less. It's kind of nosing my way into things that are none of my sorry business.
Don't worry about it.
So much for the stereotype of the sensitive writer. It's just that curiosity always gets the best of me.
It's hard to believe 2 years.
Seems a long time.
Sometimes like 200. Or like 2 minutes, you know, it all depends. I think about him every day.
You and Will were close?
Yeah. It kind of had to be. My dad took off when we were really young, and Mama died when we were kids, so for the longest time, Will and I were all each other had.
Well, I'd say he was pretty lucky to have a sister like... Well, I'm searching for a name here.
Dixie.
Dixie.
I don't know. You know, maybe he thought he was lucky once, but we didn't really leave things on the best of terms.
But you still love me.
He did a lot of terrible things, and it was really difficult for me to forgive him. I was furious with him.
It sounds like there's a bud coming.
I guess deep down, I knew that that he still loved me, and that I still loved him. And there are days, like today, that I just wish that I could tell him that one more time.
Well, as close as you were as kids, I'd say he knew all the time. He's probably looking down on us right now, having himself a nice little chuckle.
Do you believe in angels?
All the way. You want to tell Will something? You go right ahead. He'll hear. Well, listen to me. Carry on. I know you want to be alone, and I'll get on with my day and let you do the same.
It was real nice meeting you, Del.
It was very pleasant talking with you, Dixie.
I hope I see you again sometime.
That's exactly what I was hoping.
You know, I can be a real fool sometimes.
I haven't been out here in a while.
Yeah. I feel like an idiot. I had no idea what day it was. I should have known why you were upset this morning.
I know how you felt about Will. I didn't want to get into
It's
it.
okay. He was your brother. You know, you grew up together. You saw sides of him that nobody else did. And through everything, bad times, good times, you loved one another.
You know, when we were little kids, after Mama died, he took me by the hands. And he said that he would always take care of me. I owe him my life 1,000,000 times.
Dixie, don't start feeling guilty.
He called me the night he was killed. He begged me to come over and see him.
You had good reason not to.
If I had, though, I would have found out about Craig. Haley might not have gotten beaten. I would have been there when Janet showed up.
Dixie, listen to me. You might as well take all those what-ifs and wouldas and shouldas and just get rid of them. They're not doing any good. You feel bad enough as it is. Will was a very tortured person. He did a lot of terrible things.
I know. Still didn't deserve to be murdered by Janet.
Say, where's that beautiful wife of yours? Off with the heir apparent?
Mr. Henry, there's something you better understand about working here.
What's that?
I don't care about your private life, and I certainly don't care to share mine with you. I expect you to do a good job, and our relationship begins and ends right there.
Well, sure, if that's more comfortable for you.
I'm paying you for your work. You keep your home life at home, and you will have no trouble with me. Do I make myself clear?
Perfectly.
Huh.
So, you about ready to go home?
Just let me fix these real quick, okay?
Dixie. Dixie. Come on, sweetie. Let's go.
Stay tuned for One Life to Live, coming up next here on ABC.